So one thing that the last year and a half has effectively shifted in the church is our general means of evangelism. Quite frankly, it needed shifting. I have to admit that when I look back over the last couple of years, I was very much all about getting people to come into the building to hear the gospel message that had subtly taken over even my own evangelistic heart to go to the world. And that's the biblical method, is going to where the people are. Jesus never commanded the world to come to church. He commanded the church to go into all the world and preach and be the good news. So we've seen a de-emphasis of Sunday gatherings, of course, and where a Christian might, bring a non-Christian friend to church to hear the pastor talk about the Bible, tell some stories, and maybe give an invitation to follow Christ. Now, the pastor now is like really focusing on getting his people to be telling their neighbors and friends about Christ in their on their street, in their workplaces, at the gym, wherever they are on their own turf, so to speak. Don't get me wrong, Sunday gatherings are vital. If they're online or in person, they are vital, but they don't define us as the church. They're not. The building is not who the church is, right? It is the building has been kind of like this safe haven for fellowship, but the ship, so to speak, is not supposed to be in the harbor. It's supposed to be out there in the sea of humanity, as it were, and saving people. Now, you've probably heard about the church gathered and the church scattered. We've talked about that for years. That we gather on Sunday and then we scatter throughout the week, living out the Great Commission, sort of like out of the salt shaker and into the pan, kind of thing, or near the meat or in the mix of the meal, whatever. That's definitely been notched up a whole nother level this last couple of years, hasn't it? There's definitely been a shift from creating special events that people can come to on the church property to believers simply engaging other people, unchurched people, where they are, whether that's at work or at play or at coffee or on a walk or whatever. So just really engaging people more than ever. Another thing is that the church has embraced technology, doing this kind of thing and more. I mean, 2 years ago, I never even heard of Zoom. I don't even know if it existed 2 years ago. And now we all kind of know what it is and are pretty proficient at it. I mean, we were live streaming CCLF services well before COVID hit, and we did understand something about using video in our big screen age and that it's a helpful tool. But now technology has kind of become like the front door of the church more than ever. Whereas before it was just, oh yeah, we've got that going on too. But technology is not our enemy. And just as the Wesley brothers kind of embraced the new technology of their day, the idea of societies that study the Bible, or societies that help, or preaching in the field, that was a new thing. And another new technology back then was the paperback book. And so they just embraced it and used it. So today we're kind of having to just embrace the technology of our culture and leverage it for the gospel, so we can produce videos like we did for the Christmas Eve production, and we can send others those videos, or we can pass along videos that other people make about good answers to tough questions, like the 1 Minute Apologist. Look him up on YouTube, or any other number of great resources out there. We're known as the information age, and we can't seem to get enough of it, so let's use it for the benefit of the kingdom. Problem comes when we are discipled by our screens, when we're discipled by YouTube or GodTube, or the boob tube as the television used to be called, more than the scriptures, more than the holy word of God, and just spending time in there. I mean, I understand that a lot of people, a lot of Christians, are spending literally hours every day on YouTube or Facebook, those kind of things, and maybe 5 minutes in the Bible. There's something wrong with that, and I think that's been part of the shift that God is trying to do in our lives. So we are going to be shaped and we are going to be discipled, but the question is by what? Or better yet, by who? The key is that we can't be driven by technology, but we shouldn't ignore the possibilities of it as well to preach the gospel around the world. Our burden for a world in need of Jesus needs to continually grow in us and push us to leverage as much technology as we can to within the biblical parameters, use every method possible to reach people with the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's our mission, should we choose to accept it. And to tell the world of the good news of Jesus Christ, that he has won the day. It's good news, good news. So, wow, better not be holding on to that good news.